It is not every day that the world sees a pope address the faithful from a hospital bed. Yet, on this Sunday, known as the Day of the Lord, Pope Francis did exactly that. From the Gemelli Polyclinic in Rome, where he has been hospitalized for 10 days, he delivered a message that sent shockwaves through the Catholic community. His words, filled with both vulnerability and hope, left many reflecting on deeper questions. How does the physical fragility of a spiritual leader affect the faith of millions? Can a pope's suffering carry a divine purpose? The answers, though complex, lie in the essence of Catholicism itself. The Pope and the idea of spiritual endurance have always gone hand in hand. Throughout history, there have been many leaders of the Church who were sick, but still managed to inspire their following. If you enjoy content that helps you grow spiritually, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and join our community for more inspiration. Let's get started. The suffering of a leader, in the eyes of believers, is often seen as a testament to faith, an opportunity for humility, for prayer, and for a deeper understanding of human frailty. In this moment, Pope Francis embodies not just the teachings of the Church, but the very sacrifice that defines Christianity. Despite his delicate condition, the Pope made it clear that he remains committed to his mission. I still have confidence in my hospitalization at Gemelli, moving forward with the necessary treatments, he shared in a message released by the Vatican press office. His absence from the traditional Angelus prayer was notable, yet his words carried an undeniable presence. His message was more than just a health update. It was a reaffirmation of faith, a call for resilience, and a reminder that even in times of trial, faith does not waver. Doctors at Gemelli Polyclinic have confirmed that the Pope's condition remains critical but stable. The previous night, he suffered a severe respiratory crisis, leading to the necessity of high-flow oxygen therapy through nasal cannulas. In addition, a blood transfusion was administered to combat the effects of anemia caused by a drop in platelet levels. These details paint a picture of a leader fighting not just for his health, but to continue guiding his flock in a moment of uncertainty. His message also carried gratitude, not only towards the medical team treating him, but also towards the countless believers who have kept him in their prayers. Rest is also part of therapy, he stated, acknowledging the importance of allowing his body to heal. He took time to personally thank the doctors and nurses attending to him, recognizing their dedication and service to the sick. The significance of his words goes beyond his own recovery. His resilience, even in weakness, serves as a symbol of perseverance for Catholics worldwide. The Vatican has assured the faithful that while the Pope remains under close medical supervision, his spirit remains unbroken. While he remained in his hospital room, another significant event happened in the Vatican. This Sunday marked the ordination of 23 new permanent deacons at St. Peter's Basilica, a ceremony the Pope had intended to preside over but was forced to miss due to his health condition. Instead, Monsignor Rino Fisichella, pro-prefect of the Dicastery for Evangelization, led the solemn occasion, reading the homily previously prepared by the Holy Father. We all encounter moments when uncertainty clouds our path, leaving us searching for meaning and direction. In these times, the wisdom of faith and the guidance of sacred teachings can illuminate the way forward. This is exactly what The Secret of Jesus' Apparitions offers, a path to clarity and peace through his revelations. This ebook goes into his prophecies and offers insight into what lies ahead. It's available for free in the pinned comment. Grab it now before the edition's gone. Inside the Grand Basilica, where golden light filtered through the towering stained glass windows, the deacons knelt before the altar, ready to embrace their lifelong commitment to service. When they were ordained, they took on a holy duty that would bind them to the Church, in a role that was based on humility and dedication. As the words of the homily echoed through the vast hall, those present could not help but feel the weight of the Pope's absence, yet his voice resonated through the message delivered in his name. He reminded the newly ordained that their vocation was not one of mere duty, but of love, a love that called for action, for courage, and for the unwavering pursuit of serving others. "Do not be afraid to risk for love," the homily urged, a phrase that lingered in the air like an unspoken command. These words emphasized the essence of the diaconate, an office not of power, but of sacrifice. The Pope's message encouraged them to be the bridge between the Church and the people, embodying a ministry that reaches out to the poor, the sick, and the marginalized. As the deacons received their vestments, symbolizing their new role, the significance of the moment was not lost on those in attendance. Each of them represented a renewal of the Church's mission, stepping forward as living witnesses of faith. The ceremony concluded with prayers for the Pope's recovery, a collective voice rising through the basilica in unison, a plea for strength, for healing, and for the continuation of his guidance. Beyond the walls of St. Peter's, the ordination carried a larger meaning. In the wake of his health struggles, this moment became a testament to the continuity of the Church's mission, a reminder that even in times of uncertainty, faith remains steadfast and the call to serve never falters. During the Angelus message, another subject weighed heavily on the Pope's heart: the third anniversary of the war in Ukraine. Though he was physically absent from St. Peter's Square, his voice carried across the world, denouncing the continued suffering caused by the conflict. In a message read on his behalf, he called it a painful and shameful date for humanity, condemning the violence that had displaced millions and left cities in ruins. Beyond Ukraine, his words extended to other regions engulfed in turmoil. He spoke of the innocent lives caught in the crossfire across Palestine, Israel, the Middle East, Myanmar, Kivu, and Sudan, emphasizing that no war is ever justified in the eyes of faith. He wasn't just talking about politics, he was also talking about important spiritual things. He told Christians to look past differences and choose the way of peace. In moments of reflection like these, guidance can make all the difference. If you're looking for understanding, don't forget, your free ebook is waiting for you in the first pinned comment. Copies are running out fast. The Holy Father's message echoed the teachings of Christ, reminding the faithful of their duty to be peacemakers in a world fractured by hatred. He implored leaders to lay down arms and choose dialogue over destruction. "Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called children of God," his message recalled, drawing upon Christ's own words in the Beatitudes. As his call for peace resonated globally, communities of believers gathered in churches, lighting candles in silent prayer. The Vatican Press Office later reported that several parishes held special vigils, uniting in intercession for those suffering the horrors of war. Though physically distant, he remained spiritually present in these moments, guiding his flock through the power of faith. His words carried a sense of urgency, a plea for humanity to recognize the cost of indifference. He warned of the ripple effects of violence, where war does not end on the battlefield, but leaves scars on generations to come. The destruction of homes, the displacement of families, and the loss of countless lives were not just statistics. They were stories of real people whose futures had been stolen by conflict. In his final plea, he asked that prayers be lifted for both victims and aggressors, for only a true transformation of hearts can bring an end to war. The faithful listened, knowing that his voice, though weakened, still carried the moral strength of a leader who had never ceased to advocate for peace. The latest medical bulletin from the Vatican Press Office provided a detailed update on his condition. While his respiratory distress had stabilized since the previous night, the report confirmed that he remained under high-flow oxygen therapy through nasal cannulas. Despite some initial improvements, new concerns had emerged. Blood tests indicated the onset of mild renal failure, requiring close monitoring by his medical team. His thrombocytopenia, though stable, still posed risks, and additional tests were being conducted to assess his overall recovery trajectory. Specialists at Gemelli Polyclinic continued adjusting his treatment, seeking to balance the complexities of his condition while ensuring his comfort. The Pope had received 2 units of concentrated hematology, a necessary intervention to restore his hemoglobin levels. According to Vatican sources, the procedure had yielded positive effects, though the prognosis remained uncertain. His doctors, while cautious in their statements, emphasized that his mental clarity and responsiveness had not been affected, a crucial sign of resilience amid his ongoing struggles. The Holy Father had spent the morning in quiet reflection, surrounded by a small group of close aides and medical personnel. At his request, a private mass was celebrated on the 10th floor of the hospital, where he was joined by those who had been caring for him since his admission. Despite his weakened state, he actively participated in the prayers, his voice barely audible yet unwavering in conviction. The intimate gathering carried a profound spiritual significance, as those present described the moment as deeply moving. The Pope, known for his steadfast faith even in adversity, had expressed his desire to continue fulfilling his pastoral mission, even from his hospital bed. His aides later relayed that he had asked for updates on various Vatican matters, a sign that his commitment to the Church remained unshaken despite his fragile health. Faith teaches us the power of action and transformation. If you're seeking clarity and strength in your own life, make sure to claim your free copy before it's gone. Find it now in the first pinned comment. Outside the hospital, crowds of faithful had gathered once again, their presence a testament to the global concern for his well-being. Many held banners with messages of encouragement, while others engaged in recitation of the Rosary, a collective appeal for his swift recovery. The Vatican's press team reported that messages of support had arrived from world leaders, religious figures, and ordinary believers alike, reflecting the universal impact of his leadership in these uncertain times. The glow of thousands of candles flickered across the vast esplanade of the sanctuary of Our Lady of Fatima, illuminating the faces of pilgrims who had gathered in solemn devotion. While Pope Francis remained in his hospital bed, his spiritual presence transcended the distance, carried by the sacred rite unfolding in Portugal. The Paschal candle, a symbol of Christ's resurrection, was passed from hand to hand, a reminder that faith persists even in the darkest of times. The Bishop of Fatima, standing at the altar, held the flame that had been lit in honor of the Holy Father. As the candlelight spread among the faithful, voices joined in unison, chanting, "Light of Christ, illuminate humanity." This moment, though steeped in tradition, bore an added weight this year, an implicit prayer for the Pope's health and for his light to continue guiding the Church. The significance of this ritual traced back to the Marian apparitions of 1917, when the Virgin Mary had urged 3 shepherd children to spread a message of repentance, prayer, and peace. Now, over a century later, the faithful found themselves echoing the same plea, not only for the Pope, but for a world in turmoil. The Vatican press office confirmed that the Holy Father, though physically absent, had been following the vigil through a private broadcast, receiving updates on the event's progression. Amidst the sea of flickering flames, the words of the Rosary filled the air. The voices of thousands resonated through the night as they invoked the intercession of the Virgin Mary, asking for protection and healing. A Marian hymn followed, the melody carried by the wind as the procession moved toward the basilica. The bishop raised the candle of Fatima, symbolizing the light of Christ's guidance upon the world. In that instant, the connection between Rome and Fatima felt unbreakable, one leader enduring the weight of illness, while his people carried his prayer forward in unwavering devotion. The chanting of the rosary continued through the night, voices rising in devotion as the faithful clung to their flickering candles. In the Vatican, reports indicated that Pope Francis, despite his weakened state, had been listening to the prayers from his hospital room. His aides later revealed that he had requested a small candle to be lit beside his bed, a silent but profound connection to the pilgrims gathered in Fatima. The symbolic offering of light extended beyond the sanctuary, as churches around the world held simultaneous vigils, uniting believers in a shared moment of intercession. Cardinals and bishops across different continents delivered messages of solidarity, reaffirming the global embrace of faith that transcended borders and language. In Buenos Aires, his homeland, a special Mass was celebrated in the Cathedral of Our Lady of the Rosary, where thousands gathered to pray for his health. Just as these deacons step forward in service, you too can find the direction you need. A free ebook is available for you, but there are only a few copies. Grab yours now in the first pinned comment. Messages of encouragement poured in, not only from clergy, but also from world leaders and figures of other faiths. In a public message, the Grand Imam of Al-Azhar wished the Pope strength. At the same time, the Chief Rabbi of Rome spoke about the close spiritual ties between religious groups. The Vatican press office confirmed that these expressions of goodwill had been relayed to the Holy Father, whose frail condition had not diminished his ability to acknowledge and appreciate the outpouring of love from every corner of the world. Inside the hospital, the room remained dimly lit, with only the candle beside the Pope casting a warm glow. Those close to him noted how his hand occasionally moved toward his rosary, fingers tracing each bead in quiet reflection. If this message makes you think and you feel it connects with you, don't forget to like it, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment. Also, if you really want to support our work and help us keep creating valuable content, consider giving us a super thanks. Join this amazing community and don't miss any news. The image of the Holy Father, engaged in his private prayer while the world prayed alongside him, encapsulated the very essence of his lifelong mission, a shepherd never abandoning his flock, even in his weakest moments. The murmurs of prayer carried into the early hours of the morning. While the faithful continued their vigils, the Pope remained immersed in his silent communion. His presence felt not only in Rome, but across the entire Catholic world.